shock. Man United have lost out on two massive midfield targets to Tottenham Hotspur. I didn't think I'd be saying that this summer. Joined by Shireyas and Chivi. Lads, let's just get straight into it. Again, in case you've been living in a cave
Can you
somewhere.
just pause? Just
Yes.
pause that for a second. I just got this. England allowed to use Viagra by WADA to help players rise to World Cup altitude. What the fuck?
I don't like the use of the word rise to World Cup altitude. Do you know what I mean? When you're taking Viagra, the rise to the World Cup. Yeah. An interesting choice of words, but that is there's a clip. Anyway, we can put that in there.
Yeah, sorry.
There's a clip. Anyway, yeah, unless you've been living in a cave, Tottenham Hotspur have snatched Mateus Fernandes for 85 million and Sandro Tonali for close to 100 million from under our noses. It seems like one of our primary targets, which was Mateus Fernandes, like that's now gone. I wouldn't say Tonali was one of our primary targets because he seemed to have cooled off a little bit, but he might have become another primary target with the Mateus Fernandes thing happening. Chivi, I'm going to come to you first on this. We were talking last week about possible Mateus Fernandes, how he would play, where he would fit in, and now he's holding a Spurs shirt up. Yeah. Have United allowed Spurs to do this because of the price, or should we have stumped up the cash for this signing?
I believe the terminology used, I don't know if it was Ornstein or Fabrizio, but they said we walked away, basically.
Yes.
So walked away from the deal. We were kind of surprised at how it happened because on the player side, apparently, previously, we had already agreed like terms. So it felt like he was going to come to us, but then things happen. I think Mendes has played a really important part of this. I personally believe he's a very influential figure. But I mean, not to take anything off De Zerbi, I'm sure having a conversation with him, he's also like an inspirational manager as well for a young player. So it's possible. But the important thing is the people who paid the most for Fernandes. Now, it stings. I'm not gonna lie to you. It stings, especially for him. But let's take a step back. Like towards the end of the season, when everyone was eyeing Fernandes and João Gomez because they were both going to be relegated, what was the general narrative surrounding them? It was more like, oh, we're going to get these guys on the cheap. This is what everybody was saying. All of us talked about this. All of us said, 40, 50 mil, that sort of thing. At some point, I feel like we have to learn from our mistakes. And this is just one of those situations where we probably just have to. Like, we just have to learn to walk away sometimes. It's not worth it sometimes. If we're buying Mateus Fernandes for 85 mil, then who is our marquee signing? How much are we expected to pay for the marquee signing then?
200.
Like,
that's the thing. We've been here before, Excuse my hay fever is kicking my ass, so excuse me if I'm sniffling a lot. But we've been here before, mate. Like we've made these mistakes hundreds of times now. He might turn out to be a really good player for Tottenham, but we have to stick to our principles. What's the point of the whole INEOS thing being shrewd, just taking a stance? This is when you say you're going to put your foot down or something. This is it. When you stick to your word. So it stings, but I'm glad we're showing something because when we go somewhere else, like people know now and they can't fuck about with us.
It's a line in the sand, isn't it? Almost. It's like we will
and
not
me and Aaron,
be on this.
Yeah, me and Aaron were having this conversation in the group chat as well, and I said to him, our season doesn't rest. The success or failure of our season does not rest on Mateus Fernandes.
No.
Yes.
It doesn't.
If it does, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it doesn't rest on him. If we're going to go down this data route, he's not the only one who can do the stuff that he does. Let's not forget.
Exactly.
Like this, there's other players. Aaron brought up the Donnarumma situation, and I was like, well, Donnarumma seemed like the obvious choice. Nobody here can say they heard about Sene Lammens.
No. No.
Right now, so we just have to take it for what it is, man. And I have to respect the decision of the clubs. We've been crying for people to come and make decision making, to people with football knowledge to make football decisions.
Yeah.
And we finally have that, and we can't complain. I know it's for some people it's like ego, we don't want to lose us, but we walked away from it, basically.
No, it's fair. Yeah. It's fair. Are you in the same boat, Shrez? I know you were a massive fan of Tonali. He's gone for 100 million, which I think is an inflated price, but I know he's a good player, but I think he's an inflated price personally. And we can sit and debate prices all night. Are we more desperate now, especially with Ugarte going down with the ACL? Obviously, he probably wouldn't have stayed anyway, but with that option, is that more of a sort of like a desperation for United where we might have to pay more because of the situation we're now in?
I think after a point, I was pushing the Tonali deal a whole lot more than United were. But I think this injury to Ugarte complicates things for us in a way, because we were trying to raise some cash by selling him on and then getting someone else in. So it does complicate things up, for us a bit. There's only like 15 days left now for preseason to start off. So you've not really left yourself a lot of wiggle room for a player to come in, integrate into the team and have a really good preseason. So there is an obvious time crunch. There is an obvious pressure, definitely. And seeing all these names that we were previously linked to actually now starting to hop clubs. Mateus Fernandes is gone, Tonali is gone, and a couple of others are
Elliot Anderson.
Elliot Anderson is gone as well.
Yeah.
So your top choices that were on the table presented to you, most of these guys are gone, and now the players that are left behind, I just don't see them being worth that sort of money that their clubs are demanding. Because I just still say, I remember we walked off from the Branthwaite deal, the window where we got Lenny Yoro in through the door.
Yeah.
And I still don't regret it, because Branthwaite, even at that time, he wasn't worth 70 mil or 75 mil. And now, in last season as well, we signed Cunha for 60 mil. Is Mateus Fernandes worth 85, considering Cunha came in for 60 and, Mbumo came in for 71 mil. Sesko came in for 75. I can say it blindly that even if we had gotten, Mateus Fernandes in, he wouldn't have had the impact that these three guys did, because he wouldn't even be a starter in this team. Menu, claims his position. Bruno claims his position. There's only one area where Casemiro replacement needs to come in, and we've already got Ederson in through the door. So even if he came in, he wouldn't be your out and out starter. We would have still gone in with a stronger name or a stronger profile to come in and solidify that spot. So I don't mind us not going in for these guys, because I get sometimes that, you need to sometimes pay the big bucks to get that sort of quality in. But I don't think Mateus Fernandes is that player. Maybe Tonali to some extent would be a much better option in that regard in comparison to Fernandes, wherein you pay that sort of extra cash. But Mateus Fernandes is not it. And I'm still quite debateful when it comes to players like Alex Scott, when it comes to players like Baleba.
We'll get into those guys, don't worry.
Just saying, I just don't think that, the sort of cash that these clubs are demanding, I don't think the players have performed. They've definitely performed well and they've done well, but they've not performed to that sort of ability where you can say, yes, they are 80 or 90 million worth players. They're definitely not.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the chat. My Damn United right to what on both of these. T2, interested to find out how many crackheads watch the channel. Turns out the answer is 11%. We'll get into the poll in a minute, what he's referring to there. It's annoying Fernandes went to Spurs, but let's be real, couldn't pay 85 million for a sub and give him 250 quid a week, 250k per week. We're going for Somerville because he's cheaper than Lewis Hall. I don't get why we're not going for a proper left back, even if it's a cheaper option to Hall. Yeah, we'll touch on those. Don't you worry. Speaking of like alternate and where do we turn, the next guy we're looking at, obviously the big three names that I've seen linked recently are Alex Scott, Felix Mecca, and of course Aurélien Tchouaméni. There's issues with all three of those in terms of like price point, ability, what they fit, all those different things. We're gonna go through them like one by one, just quickly, and just sort of work it out. Tchouaméni is obviously the biggest name on that list. Obviously, we've two targets have gone. Jose Mourinho is reportedly willing to let go one of his midfielders, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. They're both names on the list. If we reportedly have that kind of money to say drop on a Mateus Fernandes or drop on a Sandro Tonali, Shreyas, surely we should put a load of cash into this Tchouaméni deal, right?
Definitely, because again, at least I can see him being worth around that sort of cash. He's performed to that level in not just in La Liga, but in big European competitions. He's definitely got the trophy cabinet, and he brings that sort of experience into the team as well as someone, not saying like Casemiro, but at least close to having that sort of experience like Casemiro playing in Madrid. So it wouldn't be that you're getting someone completely fresh in through the door who has never even played in the Champions League before. So I can understand if you go all out for someone like a Tchouaméni, because you do need someone big to come in into this team. I don't want us to go into next season with us feeling light when it comes to the midfield, because as far as I'm seeing things right now, you're going to reinforce that department quite well if you want Menu and Bruno to first off perform the way they did in the second half of the season, and on top of that as well, that area where Casemiro plays, it completely dictates your performances, because it sets the tone for the attack. It also sets the tone for the fullbacks, and most importantly, it also sets the tone for the centre backs. So
Yep.
every single area is linked when it comes to Carrick's system, especially with that midfield. And because Casemiro is just that naturally, gifted when it comes to playing that way, we saw him, being able to maximize his ability in that midfield. His weaknesses were not as overexposed as they were in previous systems. You could focus a whole lot more on his strengths, which provided that sort of freedom to Menu, which also provided that sort of freedom to Bruno as well, because you could honestly see him playing more often as a 10 rather than as an 8 or in that double pivot. So you can see the freedom for players being in there. But again, if you don't provide them with the right partner, it can become a very combustible situation in that midfield.
Yeah, I think physically he's exactly what we need. Like he's a physical sort of player. He reads the game extremely well. He's 26, so he's like entering his prime. I think, yeah, he ticks a lot of boxes in terms of, like Shrey said, matching what it is that Casemiro offered when he was in the team. I do have a major worry though, Chivy. Obviously, Madrid quite shrewd operators when it comes to selling. Jose especially. If we do make this happen, or we try to make this happen, is it some sort of trap? Like, what happens if we say stick 90 million on the table and Tchouaméni says, "Nah, I want to stay at Madrid actually," and we end up chasing another ghost, a la Frankie De Jong, like we did with Barcelona? Like, what happens then? Because that's another top target then, like off the table. Like, are you do you get worried at that point?
Stand a
No,
bunch.
because
We'll get into him. We'll get into him.
no, I won't be worried because we know this with INEOS. Like they're not going to make a bid if they haven't discussed on the player side. So this is how they operate. Like they get the confirmation from the player first, and then they go with the bid. So we know that INEOS work differently from what Ed Woodward and John Murta and the rest of them used to do. So as far as that, I'm not worried about that. However, all the news surrounding Aurélien Tchouaméni sounds speculative.
It's very breadcrumby, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it sounds very speculative.
Yeah.
Madrid will be, they'll entertain the idea. Like
Yes.
there's nothing definitive
Yeah.
surrounding him. And I feel a lot of it is fan driven. A lot of us really want this move to happen.
Sure.
And we're asking journalists, and journalists are forced to report on it. But there's nothing concrete as well.
Yeah.
Another thing that worries me about it is that from what people are saying, well, from what I heard, I think it was one of them said it, Romano, I think it was, he said if that happens, like the stumbling block could be his wages as well.
Yep.
This is another issue because we have set out not to, there's a certain wage structure that we're trying
There's
to
a
operate.
cap.
There's a cap.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to breaking the cap if you've proved it in the team. So, for example, Bruno, give him what he wants right now.
Yeah.
This is for me. Like, give him what he wants. There's certain players, like if we have another stellar performance from Lamens, or at some point maybe Mbeumo or Cunha, like just ball out the park. Just give them what they want, but you have to earn it.
Yeah.
But what I don't want is for someone to just come in and immediately just bang on.
Yes.
Here you go, sort of thing. And Madrid, like Perez, like they don't let players go
that
if
easily.
they're of any real value. You have to not, there has to be some kind of issue. Like Cass was his age, and we're lucky. We're actually quite lucky with Cass
Yeah.
because of his age, and they were trying to go for, So that one we're happy there. Sorry, we're lucky there. But with Tchouaméni, if they're trying to get rid of him, I don't know, man.
Could
I
it
don't
be
trust
to
him.
do with the Valverde thing? Because we've read that the whole there's
There is
no way
definitely
Valverde's
some.
going. They're backing Valverde 100%.
Yeah.
So
Well, we don't know what Mourinho thinks because Mourinho
Yeah.
is different. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't know what Jose
Yeah.
thinks. Tchouaméni is a Jose player, 100%.
Yeah.
He's a Jose player. So we don't know. But I'm hoping that this is true because he's the profile of midfielder that we really need
Yeah.
in the squad as far as to play that position. Another thing you touched on, Shreyas, was how much Cass contributed to the attack and everything. The defense as well is
Yes.
what we really need. And I think this is why we strayed away from Tonali, because Tonali is an amazing midfielder. But when I was checking, when I was doing, I watched some guy, I forgot his name. I think Pythagoras is his name.
yeah,
He
yeah,
does
no.
he does really, he does a lot of data analysis on players. And Tonali's defensive numbers were actually in the bin. Like Joe Linton is what saves him, really.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we paired Tonali and Meno, we would have been run through. Unfortunately, I know it sounds good on paper and all that, but would have been exposed badly. So we need someone with that speciality. Now, hopefully, it's not to the point of Ugarte where all you do is tackle.
Yeah, you can't do
Tchouaméni
anything on the ball. Like you just
exactly, but he's got range. He's
Yep.
good with the ball. He's
Yep.
he can pass. So he's the ideal player. But I'm not really raising my hopes until I get something
solid.
concrete.
Yeah.
Something solid. Yeah.
I'm with you. Let's move on to the second name, Alex Scott. So I think Arsenal had an approach shut down by Bournemouth recently. I believe they made a bid and they said no. Apparently Man
55.
City. Yeah.
Offered 50.
Yeah.
How can you bought Madueke for 50?
Yeah, and then you put that in Alex Scott. Mad.
Nah.
Arsenal are just a weird team. But yeah, I think with Bournemouth, they obviously, again, very shrewd operators. Like they make their money from their players. Like you look at Dean Hudson, Anton Semenyo, that kind of stuff. Yeah, Krupi is probably going to be another big
100 mil. They slapped 100
mil. Don't blame him.
Yes.
I don't blame him at all. And obviously under Iriola, Alex Scott has had a fantastic season. Like he made his way into the England squad. Probably a bit unfortunate to miss out in terms of going to the World Cup, but we've got a lot of midfielders. The rumours of the price I've seen floating around is 60, 70 million. Again, Shreyas, is that a massive overpay for a player who's only got a few years of like Premier League experience? I know he's young and he's still like things there, but is that a massive overpay?
It is. If it is 70, then it is. I think 55, 60, I can still to some point understand, but I think 70 is just genuinely a bit too much because again, all these midfielders, they haven't even had 2-3 consistent years in the Prem, like full seasons where they've been consistently performing well. I mean, Alex Scott, incredible season last year, but I think he's only been playing regularly at Bournemouth for around 1.5 years because before that he played predominantly as a 10. Then he was shifted into an 8. Some games he played off the wings. Then he was shifted into a deep lying position last season, on a more permanent basis. So he's been shifted about as a versatile player in a lot of areas. And it is only last season where you could see him truly, that he was actually, he was able to get going. He was able to form really good connections with players like Tyler Adams there. And because of the injury issues that Bournemouth had last season as well, I think Kluivert was out for quite some time. Evan Nilsson was out for quite some time as well. So he took the mantle really well in that midfield. You can say under Areola, they were quite organized and compact as a double pivot, both Tyler Adams as well as Alex Scott. But I just don't think that, it warrants something around 70 mil still. I think 60, like if you do a deal like a 55 plus 5 and add-ons, I think it's still a really good deal. He's young and I can see potential there where he can become a really, really good player, a really solid player. But I don't think that it is worth 70 just because of how we've been conducting ourselves in the previous windows. I think you set a very wrong precedent if you go in for someone like a Scott or even someone else and you pay around 70 mil for that sort of player. you go down the same path.
Yeah.
And it has taken a whole window for us to, sort of make our image a bit better when it comes to transfer negotiations, because I still don't believe how, we got Dorgu now, for that matter, for around 25 mil or 20 mil. Le Mans
Because
for around 20.
nobody knew about him. That's
Nobody
why.
knew.
Exactly.
Nobody knew
And
about
even
Nobody
the
knew it.
players
Yeah.
is, getting someone like Sesko in by actually underpaying in value when it came to Newcastle. Same goes for Mbumo, paying the release clause for Cunha for around 60. You can see we've done really good business, and it has been a money's worth. I
the
don't want us
difference
to
in
go
those Shreds is with Mbumo, Cunha, Sesko, they wanted United. Like that was
Yes.
that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So you had an
Yes.
edge there.
Yeah.
And then with Dorgu and Le Mans, nobody really knew about him. So you didn't really have competition to sort of fight off where
The
they could
scouts-
name the price.
It was the scouts, it was the data.
Yeah.
It's a really good
Yes.
point you're making, Shreyas. And just to add to what you're saying, so just so I don't forget.
Yeah.
You look at players like, do you remember Calvin Phillips?
Yes.
How he had an amazing season
with Leeds.
and then for Leeds, and he's the next guy. Everyone was like,
He went for 60 to City.
He went for 60 million.
It was England, like England's best defensive midfielder as well. Played in a Euros and a World Cup. Was like the guy.
When and then that was it done. Tyler Diblin, do you remember that name?
100 million is what
Where is he?
Southampton wanted.
Yeah.
He's Everton, I think.
Everton. Yeah,
Yes,
Everton.
He doesn't play that
Where is-
regularly now.
Tyler Diblin was Alex Scott before Alex Scott, basically, as far as like
Yeah.
the hype and all that sort of thing. Everyone was all, it was Arsenal, it was Man United, it was. So yeah, I completely agree. Like, just because you've had a season or two, I'm not saying Alex Scott is not a good player. I'm just saying that sometimes you need to earn that value, because what Bournemouth is doing is, it's the going rate, so we just slap any amount on the player.
Yep.
So
Blame Spurs for it, for paying 85.
Blame City for
Fernandes.
paying
blame us.
125.
Blame us. We're the originators of this.
Yeah, true.
This is us.
So
what we're trying to do now, we're trying to move away from this. This is what the Mason Mount thing, like.
Don't remind me.
Final year of his contract as well.
We can't keep making the same mistakes, guys.
No.
Like we're going to have to.
I think that is why this window is actually so important, because one, you're in the Champions League as well. You backed Carrick into the permanent position. You need to give him. You cannot have another window like we did, that you give him just 2 players or 3 players and be done with it. You need to properly back him, and this is, I think, INEOS's probably last chance to actually clear their image in front of the fans as well, because Carrick was never a plan. Carrick came in and worked, and it just worked wonders.
Amrin was the plan, wasn't it? And it didn't work.
So if they don't back Carrick now,
window.
you go into the same parallel loop again when the season starts, because again, I remember our first 5 games are actually perhaps the easiest that I've ever seen in the past 3 to 4 years. So if you don't get the right players in by then, it's going to be panic season for us all over again.
Let's get into the chat. If we're looking for a Casemiro replacement, you can't do better than Casemiro's replacing at Real. Fair enough. If our club any had ambition, they would have bought Anderson, Fernandes, and Tchouaméni. Happy to pay big money on a player that comes with true pedigree and trophy winning experience over a few betting tips. There's a dig there at Sandro Tonali. No consistency in all our targets, different profiles. We know we need a DM and a left back. Tchouaméni is the only aligned with our needs. We'll be lucky to get him. It's contract renewal time. We're told, so Madrid have a decision to make just to make sure we're not being dragged into contract leverage psyop, aka Ramos. Oh yeah, I remember those days.
That's a good point.
Sergio Ramos, yeah, that was a whirlwind, wasn't it? The next player, Felix Mecca. I don't like this signing.
Yes,
I really, really don't like this signing. I think he is an all right midfielder. I don't think he had a good World Cup, but I don't think it's fair to judge him on that. I think he carries the ball okay. He gets about the pitch. He's physical. His passing range is not great. I don't think he offers much going forward. And I saw prices floated about like 60, 70 million. I was like, that's far too much. And then the Athletic put out, which again, legitimate publication, 103 million euros they want for this guy. Chivi, are they just out of there talking out their ass? Dortmund, like what are they?
They forget that he wears a Dortmund badge and it never works for us.
It's just insane.
No. It's because we asked. It's because Man United.
We rang them and they were like, "Oh, they're just."
Who's that? Who's it? Who's on the
Yeah.
phone? It's Man United.
100 million. 100 million.
100, not
Yeah.
70. Tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
300.
Yeah. Because the guy at Dortmund was going like this. Metro. Yeah, it's 60. Huh?
United.
Sorry.
100.
100. Yeah. It's because we asked. That's why.
Did he think Ed Woodward's still working here? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. That's what we thought. You know what?
If he was, it would have happened.
You know how when you've got, well, I'm not saying anyone does this, but they probably have our name, the Man United name, like
it's just
wankers.
it's just cash numbers, isn't it? It's just like signs. That's just
they probably just have it as wankers. So they probably forgot, the caller ID basically.
Yeah.
So but yeah, let's be serious. I agree with you, Sam. He's a decent player.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like Brian Gravenberch.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Just he's good. He might have a good game, but he doesn't move the needle.
No,
for me.
Not for 100 million anyway.
Not for 100 mil, And we could all be wrong, but we're all just going based on what we know, what we've seen.
Yeah.
There's no quality there that I can see and be like, okay, yeah, this guy, let's test the waters. And it's Dortmund as well. Like, this is what they do.
Exactly.
They bend you over a barrel and rid
this is
you
what
for
they
every
do.
penny.
They're the only team in the Bundesliga that play this kind of madness. And I think they do it just because...
Well, Chivy, they demand top dollar for their player. And then when it comes to buying, they go, the empty...
Oh, no, yeah.
I've got nothing.
I've got nothing. I'm broke, man. Yeah, this is what they do. Honestly, like, if they want to buy... If for example, let's just say... who's on the Xerxes? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
We'll say to them, okay, give us 25. That's not much, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Dortmund will pay 25 million like 6 installments. They'll offer to pay like 6. This is what they do. So like they're the only team in Bundesliga that like to drag things out like this. And I think it's a precedent that we set. Like this is what we did with Sancho, when Erling Haaland was there, when we're trying to buy him. They've seen us do the madness and they just want to take advantage. And yeah, Mecha he's nowhere near that amount.
Yeah, he isn't.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And if he turns out to be different, then yeah, I'll hold my hands up. But for now, no.
Am I missing anything, Stress, with Mecha? Like I don't see it personally. Is there anything you see where you think, yeah, he could do something United? But I personally don't.
Can I just add something very quick, just before you answer? Just before you answer, yeah. I watched. I like to watch. What's his? I think I don't know if it's Ronaldo Brown or Rolando Brown. One of them.
Ronaldo, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And Paddock.
So yeah, Paddock. Yeah, I like. He has really good analysis.
Yeah, he's a good lad
and stuff. Yeah, he's a good guy. So I watch it, and then he said, because he knows Mecha, they've played together.
Yeah, he was in the Liverpool Academy. When he Ronaldo. Yeah.
So, but here's the thing: when people are describing players, right? If the first thing they say about the player is his character, I don't rate you. He said,
nothing about your ability.
He said,
character.
He's a good lad. That's how he started it. Right. I was like, nah. Then I'm not. I remember when Rio Ferdinand was trying to pick up Scott McTominay. I was like, oh yeah, he's a top lad. I was like, nah, I need more.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, Shreyas, go on.
Yeah, again, I just made a promise to myself never to sign players from Inter Milan or Dortmund. It never worked out for us, ever. They might
Shreyas, we've got Inter Milan, we don't buy from. Dortmund, Chivy wants to never buy from Portugal ever again. Like, he's done with Portugal.
No, Holland.
Oh, Holland, you're done with Holland.
Ajax never works for us either. So, I still can't believe, when you send that in the group chat that Atleti are signing Humeland from Sporting for around 30-40 mil.
Yeah.
And I just remember last year in December, they quoted us 85 mil to sign him in.
Yeah. And we had their manager.
Yeah, and we had their manager at that time. And they still wanted 85 million for him. And now they've sold him for, I think, around 35 plus 5 in add-ons. So I don't know how.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's like they backed out of the João Gomez deal.
This is what, and then they were like, "We've done this to ourselves, bro."
Yeah,
And I was just not able to comprehend that. Okay, Atleti is also a top club, yes, and they spend a lot when it comes to transfers. They don't shy away from spending the big bucks, and
Is this
he's
allowed?
going for around 35.
It's allowed? Are they allowed to do this?
Apparently,
Yes.
apparently,
So you can code for one
And
team and then code
Yeah,
for
yeah.
another team.
yeah.
No.
and we are right now in the boat for Felix Nmecha for 103 mil. When these guys are going for
Chivy,
35, 40.
Chivy, there's the market price and then there's the United
It's my
price.
United price.
There's the two
Listen.
prices. That's what you gotta go with.
Listen, clip this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In 2 years, right? Let's say no, so next season, right?
Yeah.
Mecha will probably be going to fucking Fulham.
Yeah.
For like
Yeah.
45 mil.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly.
Probably.
Yeah. Or like he'll go to Mainz, in Germany.
Not even in the Bundesliga anymore, Mainz.
Hoffenheim. He'll go to
Hoffenheim,
like
yeah,
Hoffenheim for like 20 million
Wolfsburg,
euros.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
let's go-
just don't know. I think ever since Chivi said it on the live stream that, next season we might just have a chance. And ever since that show, the way the transfer window has been
cursed us.
going,
It's cursed us.
every single inclination just shows. First, it was, I was going, okay, yes, we might win. Then the next week I went, okay, top 4. Then I went top 6. Now I'm seeing mid-table quite clearly.
It's a fun time. It's a fun
guys,
time.
calm down.
Yeah,
It's
we're
gonna
all,
happen.
we're chilling. In the chat, where did we get to? There we go. We are in 2026 chasing players that aren't for sale, don't want to leave their club. United have turned into the Spurs of old. Can we ban players that have worn the City or Liverpool shirt? Chelsea as well. We never seem to win negotiations with them. Let Spurs destroy themselves with panic moves like this. No way we should get into such nonsense deals.
I agree.
So there you go. There's the chat. Right, there's a couple of other names dotted around, but there's not much sort of stuff like that. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on them. The latest one is I can't do his first name, but Bouadi. I think it's
Ayub Boyadi.
Bouadi. Moroccan player, 18 years old, plays for Lille. Had a pretty decent World Cup from all sort of thing. He's got really, really good numbers at Lille. Again, price tag is quoted around 60 million euros. What do you think, Shreyas? I know you're quite a big fan of his. Like, is that someone should be looking at?
I think he is incredibly solid. Like, honestly, I think with the way I saw him play against Brazil, then in the other games against Netherlands as well, considering, he went up against Gravenberch, De Jong, Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes, these are top level midfielders.
Yep.
And he was able to hold up his own and dominated in those games as well. It never looked like he was out of place. He's incredibly composed on the ball, is very smart on, when it comes to releasing the ball under pressure as well. And I know a lot of clubs are in the running for him. And again, Lille are also one of those clubs that know how to make the most out of these young talents. They've been doing it for quite some time. And right now, I think they've got 3 to 4 players in there. Who
every
will be
year,
sold.
every year they have a player, don't they? And he
Yeah.
he ascends. So
again, if he comes in through the door and considering, it's for 60 mil, I honestly wouldn't mind it at all. I think he would bring a whole lot into this team. And I think, again, he's very mature for his age with the way he plays. Because, again, you're playing in the World Cup for Morocco against perhaps these superstars of the game, and you're outshining them in all those departments. And these are solid teams. When you look at Netherlands as well, I know that they don't perform well, but when you look at the players that they've got in the, in the middle of the park, they are not easy players to come up against. And I think he's usually he plays with El Ainaoui, who plays for Roma.
Yeah.
Who's again more of a box-to-box sort of a midfielder who likes to go up and down. So to play in that sort of a double pivot as an out-and-out 6, I think it takes a lot. So I think it was if we do get him in, I think it would be a smart deal for us to do, because again, he's definitely being monitored by a whole lot of clubs, but a proper bid has not gone in for him, at least until now. Maybe people are waiting for the World Cup to end, but I would say don't let the World Cup end, because his stock is only going to get higher and higher after each game.
There's a reported story that I've seen that Lille they're happy to sell him, but they want to keep him on loan for a year.
Yeah,
which I think
as well.
is stopping a lot of which is stopping a lot of clubs making a bid, basically, because they want him immediately. So I think that's a thing that's going on. Another name, again, it's gone quiet on this front, Chivy, but Carlos Baleba had a pretty poor season, I would say, last year compared to his season before. some would say his head went after United interest, and it didn't happen. It affected him. But on paper, he seems to fit. Like he's physically aggressive. He's good on the ball. I think he'd fit in really, really well next to Tchouaméni. Obviously, Brighton want big money for their players most of the time. But after a poor season, do you think they could still demand what they were after last year? If we did
100, not at all.
No. And this is another thing. We almost bought him for 100.
Yep.
And sold Bruno in the process.
Yeah. Yes. Can you imagine that? Like we almost. So this is another thing. Like you can't just. And Carlos Baleba had a much better season then than what Mateus Fernandes had last season.
Yes.
Much better season, right? And then it was all high. The hype was on Baleba. To answer your question, I think we'll get him for a lot cheaper than 100. I don't think.
What do you think? 55, 60? You think that's fair price?
I don't think they'll sell him for more than 60. Let's say 65, between 65 and 55, I think. And what United will do, what we're really good at doing now, is the add-ons thing.
Sure.
So we'll probably pay 50 up front and then put like 10 in add-ons. Yes. This is what we do. And I won't mind that if we get that. I really won't mind it. Under Ruben Amorim, I thought he would have fit okay.
Yeah.
But in the system now, I haven't watched him well enough to know if he'll fit the system, because what we need is a hybrid in that position. That 6. I don't know if he's calm enough, if he has that calming sort of.
It's a whole lot of responsibility in that position.
It's a matured role. It's a role for somebody with a matured mind, like the way Cass used to do it. Cass knew when to go. He knew when to wait. He knew.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'll be happy with that. He brings energy, like what we need in that midfield. We need a lot of energy. We need someone to win the headers, to win the aerial duels. I won't be mad at that. Just to add to the other player, Boadi, maybe it's the hair, but he just reminds me of, do you know Guendouzi, who played for
Arsenal?
He just gives me Guendouzi vibes. But yeah, apparently he's really good. This kid, I'm not going to say I know him or anything.
I think he's been like around for like now 2 years, and I think he's still only 18. So he's
I've heard his name before. I heard his name. We're linked to him like before. I've heard his name before for the World Cup. So yeah.
There's a couple of players we've scouted for years. I think we scouted Sesko from when he was in like Slovenia or something, playing in Slovenia. Like we've scouted players for years. So I'd imagine Boadi's on that list of players we've looked at. My damn United, we could thank good old Edward for that. We can make moves in the transfer market other clubs can only dream of. Yeah, I remember that quote. Fucking hell. Boadi has been good for a couple of years. French league translates well to the Premier League. Started really young at Lille. Wilcox, I need Bruno Guimaraes, Boadi, Hjomlund, Rios, Adams, Somerville, Tchouaméni, Gibbs White, Maxine, Aurélien, Ngoy, Sa. United is better for that. I mean, good luck with that. That's a lot of fucking money.
Anymore?
I know. Like,
I don't think that was enough.
Yeah, Jesus
that wasn't
Christ.
Enough.
We are not Chelsea.
No, definitely not. I've wanted Tchouaméni all along. Has better to replace Casemiro than the guy who Real bought to replace Casemiro. Another point again. My damn United is asking Shreyas, how do you think Boadi would fit next to Mainu?
I think he'd fit in quite well because, again, Mainu is someone who naturally he wants freedom on the ball. He wants to, be able to glide with the ball forward. And when you've got someone who's, again, he's still quite young, but as positionally mature as Boadi, I think it can translate quite well, because, again, physicality-wise, I'm not at all bothered when it comes to Boadi, because with the way he's been playing in the world, I'm not that bothered, because considering how well he's been able to, hold his own, it's not just in the World Cup, but even for Lille, I think he's quite solid. And I think maybe, you never know, maybe these young partnerships, sometimes, they just click. Sometimes they just click. And considering, you've already got a very, very, mature mind, you can say now in Bruno playing in the 10, I think it could translate quite well. But again, I would not say that Ederson, Boadi should be the only ones coming in. I think you still need to have someone with a, just a bit more experience, just a bit more, that sort of mentorship that Casemiro provided. I think you still need, someone like that coming in through the door, because it just balances things out for you. Because at United, we've seen it a lot of times. We've signed some incredibly talented youngsters, but sometimes the microscope that is put on these players, it just becomes a bit tough for them to handle. So when you've got players like Casemiro, I would even say now players like Maguire in the defense or De Ligt in the defense who've been at those heights, it becomes easier for these youngsters to be protected and be able to play naturally quite well on the pitch.
To wrap it up, I'm going to get your guys pick in a minute, but I put a poll in the chat before we started. It's got 60 votes currently. Who should be the priority target midfield signing? 80% Tchouaméni, 14% for Alex Scott. Nobody's voted for Carlos Baleba, and then 7%, which I think is probably Shireyas and his dummy accounts, have voted for Sandro, which I just put in as a joke to wind Nick up. But I reckon that is just Shireyas voting on that because I can't believe anybody would pick him over.
It will happen. I can see it happening.
We'll see. Guys,
honestly, if we sign him, you guys are going to eat your words.
No, I like him.
I'm with him.
I like
him.
It's Nick. Nick can't stand him. Nick thinks he's a terrible
Imagine
player,
it's the first game against Hull and he scores the first goal of the next season.
There you go. But yeah, I'm going to ask you guys, you don't have to pick from that poll, but if you're sat in United's scouting thing and you're going, who are we going after now? Who's the one we go and get? Who are you going for, Chivy?
It has to be Tchouaméni.
Has to be Tchouaméni.
Yeah.
Shreyas, is it Tchouaméni or is it Bouadi?
I think Tchouaméni definitely.
Tchouaméni.
Honestly, Tchouaméni has to be there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If I get some more time, just make a call to Stuttgart. Hey.
That dream's over, Shreyas. That dream's over, mate. It's not happening. Yeah, it's not happening. That. Me and Shreyas was dreamt about that. I know, anyway, but there's no links. There's zero.
No links. It's just zero.
Three players I like. All three of those midfielders have gone. He's the last one that I've got left on that board.
Yeah. It's just me and Shreyas make so many smart choices, and just United ignore us. Just ignore us. So
he does everything. He does everything.
Yeah. I can't believe as well. Germany they brought Leon Goretzka on instead of Stilo when he missed the ball the other day. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, that is another thing. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for that. It's been a really good show. I enjoyed that. The window is still not closed, so anybody panicking, relax. We've still got plenty of the window left. I'm sure United have got a plan. I'm sure we're working on it, and players will come through the door. Drop your comments in the below, who you're picking: Tchouaméni, Scott, Baleba, Sandro. Massive thank you to Chivy and Shreyas for joining me through this. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe. Please do, because something might pop off at any minute and we might have to go live, so you don't want to miss that. So please make sure you do that. Follow all the socials: Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Twitter for all the latest updates. And yeah, we'll see you all another